ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talks with Todd.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? Welcome back to Talks with Todd, award-winning Talks with Todd. I'm your host, Wit Todd, man. I want to thank everybody for coming on. And I have a very special guest. I mean, a very special guest, you know? And she's somewhat new to getting on camera, but she's been getting there, and I appreciate her coming on today, especially for my podcast. So I really appreciate it. Like, it's dope. She's one of the youngest heart and souls of podcasting, doing her thing up here, engineering most of the time, doing all kind of stuff, and now she's like circling her way through creating content. And I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give a warm welcome to Chantel Mosley.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me.
A.K.A. Telly.
I appreciate it. Hey, everybody.
So, how you doing? How you feeling?
Good. I'm feeling good.
Good.
Yep, sun is shining. I'll take it. So, it's not that cold outside either. So.
No, it feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Feel pretty good. So, I'm glad you made it on today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Give us a little background before we get into the topic, like where you from exactly and all of that. You
know? Hi, everybody. My name is Chantel. I am from Detroit, Michigan. I am the producer of the Rise and Grind Morning Show here on Podcastic that is scheduled every Monday through Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. I also produce Speaking Life with Dr. Sabrina. Her show comes on every Monday at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, like Wit Todd was saying, I'm just here all of the time, making sure things flow, and be around other creatives. So, definitely tap into Podcastic and check us out.
Definitely. And what got you into communications?
Ever since I was younger, I always knew that I wanted to do something dealing with communications, being a voice of the people, broadcasting. Anytime anybody would ask me what I wanted to be when I was younger, I would always say a newscaster, journalist, something along those lines. So going into college, I wasn't one of those ones that didn't know what I wanted to go for. I pretty much knew. So communications was that for me. So I did attend Macomb Community College, graduated from there with my associates, and then transferred over to Oakland University and got my bachelor's in communication with the minor in social from there. So really just being in this world is something that I like and I actually enjoy. So, and I feel like when you enjoy something, you thrive in it. So
Nice. Now, when you got into communications, what were some of the things that you like that you knew you was gonna gravitate towards more?
Definitely the broadcasting side, like anything behind the scenes, being on camera, just learning and understanding how things worked, and just seeing unfinished things come together and create a big project is something I definitely love to see. And just the work that you just put into something just over time, and just to see it come to light and your name behind it, it's a good feeling. So,
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. Now, how does it feel being behind the scenes knowing that you created something?
It feels really good. Like, for prime example, it is a few movies that are on Tubi that I have assisted edited on. So just seeing my name in the credits of those, it makes me warm. It's a good feeling, just like I said, to see these clips or scenes, just raw footage from just the camera with the audio, and to put it together and, with the zooms and the color corrections and things like that, just to add that feeling and emotion that most movies give, to people. So
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's
That's
a good feeling
dope.
to see your name on a big screen. So
That's dope. I'm glad to hear that. Now, how did you know you weren't necessarily going to be that comfortable being on screen versus being behind the scenes?
It's still a work in progress, I think. Just the more you do it, just the better you get at it. It
Right.
becomes more comfortable. I was definitely someone that was behind the scenes. It was definitely people that was just pushing me and telling me that, just to try it, just to get out there. What's the worst that can happen? So really just taking their advice and just keep going forward and, keep pushing and getting behind the camera is how you're going to get better, really, just to continue to do it. So.
Got you. Now, what's some advice that you would give to somebody that's young looking to get into broadcasting or just in communications in general?
Okay. Some advice I would say is to take your time, because in this world it's just so much to know, so much information to grasp. You may feel like you don't know a lot going into something, but that doesn't mean do not go into it. That just means, go into it with an open mind and knowing that it's going to put some work into it.
Right.
But the outcome will be great. And just the opportunities that you'll get will be great. The people that you meet with will be great. So just to really take your time and know that doing it the right way is the best way. So
Nice. Now we're going to get into the main topic, y'all. I wanted to talk to you because I remember one day on the morning show, you actually spoke kind of light.
Yeah, very light.
on your condition, and I was very interested to hear more because I never heard of it before or anything like that. So you have a condition called Radmo.
Yes.
No, Rhamdo. That's what it's called, Rhamdo. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So rhabdomyolysis is the full term of it. Rhamdo is for short.
Right.
It is pretty much a autoimmune condition that pretty much affects your muscles, and it affects the mobility of just the function of your whole body. It pretty much attacks things that are closer to your body. So we're going to go with the shoulders, the arms, the core. That's pretty much what it attacks. Everybody is different because everybody's nervous system is different. But it was pretty much a trial and error for me, since, like you were saying, this is not something that you've ever heard of. It's not something that's really common. So I am right now still on my health journey with this, but I have just tried different doctors, medicines, to be able to find the one that worked for me. So
Gotcha.
it's definitely been a process. It's definitely been life-altering and life-changing, but with anything, I just learned to kind of get up, persevere, and have resilience through the situation. So
That's good. Now I know that I read into it, and I know that if you, like, let's say you went to the gym and you went too hard, you could actually die. Like,
yes.
I didn't know anything about that. So
yeah, that's what my doctor tells me all of the time. Like, be careful about the weights that you lift. You don't want to overdo it.
Right.
Because our immune system and our body does not heal in the same capacity as a normal person would. So we do have to actually be very careful with overexerting our body.
Got you.
Because, it's attacking the muscles and the nerves. So.
Okay. Now, what's some of the stuff you had to go through since this happened? Like, since you've been fighting through it?
I have had to go through a lot. Physical therapy was one of those things to where, of course, they put you in that. I've been to chiropractors for this. No one thing has just helped me get to a point of progression. Everything kind of collectively together helped me. So like I was saying, the PT, the chiropractors, the IVIG infusions that I have to get every month through IV, oral medicine that I have to take as well. So everything is just kind of a mixture. Some of the challenges that I had to go through was just being able to get up and down the stairs,
Gotcha.
get in and out of the car, just walking longer distances. That was really tricky for me because it was one time to where I was in a wheelchair, I was on a walker, and those were my means of just getting around. I could not go out and be out in public by myself because I wasn't independent health-wise enough to be able to do that. I always had to have someone around me, even when it just came to, even having to use a restroom. I had to have someone with me because I was just that weak. So what happened with this is my muscles became weak, which caused my overall body function and my body to become weak. So I couldn't even open juice out of the refrigerator.
Wow.
I couldn't even grab a pitcher of juice or anything, and that was one of the first signs that I knew that something was wrong.
Gotcha.
Because I'm like, I never been this weak before. Like, what's going on? So that's how I knew at that time that I needed to go see a doctor. So.
Gotcha. Now, when you heard the news from the doctor, what was your first reaction?
My reaction, I was shocked because, like I said, I never heard of this before, so I didn't know what moving forward was going to look like for me.
Right.
I didn't know how long this was going to take. They couldn't tell me. I still don't know to this day when I'm going to be back to normal, what my normal looks like now. So I just try to go through life and, making those adjustments the best way I can. I still modify a great amount of things that I do to this day, even when it comes to walking, just getting in and out of the car. I modify how I have to do that.
Gotcha.
I had to develop, getting just used to this way of things. So, yeah, that was a big thing for me.
Now, how did you figure out what you needed to take in order for things to kind of work in your favor, like the medicines and all of that?
Yeah, so I definitely want to say thank you to my doctor. Her name is Dr. Stylen. She's a neurologist. So just finding first the correct department that you need to go to.
Okay.
So the neurologist definitely helped me, and she worked closely with other doctors that was kind of in her vicinity and things like that, and they came up with a medicine that will work for me. So this is something that typically happens to older people. So they do have some medication that they can try with people. I did have to switch one time and then go to another one because the other one was just not bringing my numbers down to where I needed it to be.
Gotcha.
So if my numbers are too highly escalated, it will definitely show in my mobility. I'll be walking more penguin-like, more stiff, because my joints aren't flexible at that time to be able to just move. So
okay. Now when you are feeling stiff and like not feeling as mobile, how do you kind of like get through that without the medicine? Like, do you just kind of make yourself walk or move around more?
Yeah, so I try to stretch, definitely do some home things. I have bands and different things from PT, because at first they had to come out to me. I couldn't even go to the facility because I was so weak.
Okay.
Literally, I couldn't even get down my stairs. I had to actually use a wheelchair ramp at one time to be able to get in and out of the house. So with that being said, just different things that I have at home. I do have a foot machine that I can kind of use for exercising, but really just kind of laying down, let my body kind of stretch out, and then doing my at-home workouts. So, and then they have some good ones on YouTube that you can just kind of do at home, 20 or 30-minute workouts. Those are some things that I'll do. I typically notice that when the weather changes and when the weather is colder, it definitely affects my immune system, and it definitely affects my bones too. So the cold hits me directly.
Yeah.
So yeah, my cold is different from everybody else's cold.
Yeah,
So.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Because I hear a lot of older people
Yes.
that that's had broken bones or whatever
Yeah.
they say. When it rains, it bothers them, or
Yeah,
when it's
I
cold.
get it now.
Yeah. So I understand too.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand.
Definitely.
Now, what kind of exercises do you do like to help when you're really in pain, like other than outside of stretching?
So one thing that really helps is kind of stair stepping. So
Okay.
pretty much what this is muscle memory, is what I need to get back to get my muscles and things to move how they're supposed to. So just kind of putting one leg or up on the stair and putting it down. Just something as simple as that will kind of jog my hip and core muscles. And at that point, it'll be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, because it'll start getting that muscle memory back. So those are things that I really just try to focus on, like my legs, really putting focus on that, because I never really understood how much your core has
Yeah.
to deal with the rest of your body.
Yeah.
So now that I do understand that, I definitely try to make sure that my core stays strong, and then my legs, really. So
Yeah, that's deep. I remember having I have arthritis in my lower back, so
Okay.
I was
So you
told to
get
work
it.
on my core
yes.
in order for that pain to go away. So I
Yes.
definitely understand that.
Yeah, the core, it regulates a lot. And when you are used to having your core function, you don't even look at it as it being so much of a key essential to your body. You just think like, okay, I'm used to it. I'm always able to walk or get up out of the bed or things of that nature. And it's definitely life-changing when one day all of that's just snatched away from you. And then you like, now what? Now you have to still go on and live. So I had to pick myself up and tell myself like, hey, this is not the end. This is not it.
Right.
Even when it was looking like that, it was looking real dark. My mental wasn't even in a good space.
Yeah.
But I had to get up out of there because that wasn't me.
Now, what motivated you to get out of that mindset?
Allow myself not to be limitless. So I didn't want this to limit me to just one thing that I can do. I didn't want this to be my story that I just had to stick with. I didn't want this to be something that made me bitter or made me angry. I wanted to eventually be able to heal, go through my journey, and then be strong enough to share with other people, to help other people, to be the voice of the people, because it took me a while to even want to talk about it.
Right.
But I find peace in closure in talking about it each and every time, and I'm able to talk about it now without getting teary-eyed or feeling down about myself, but instead using it as a place of strength, really. So, yeah, I'm excited to even be on here expressing and talking about it. So, thank you for allowing me to do that on this platform.
No problem. Now, what are some of the things that you were like? What advice would you give somebody that just been affected with that?
I would say there's light at the end of the tunnel, because like I said, a lot of times I felt in those dark spaces. I didn't think that it was an end to this. I didn't think that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I just felt like this was the new me, and I had to accept it. I had to accept everything that came with it. It was a time to where, like I said, have been dealing with this for 3 years now. So
right.
At a point in time, after 6 months or a year, to certain people, they may think like, okay, this is about to just be dragged on, and they couldn't tell me when it was going to end. So just being able to tell yourself like it's light at the end of the tunnel, stick with God, stay prayed up, write down, journal. That period of isolation that I had, it was definitely a time of when I got closer with God. So that's what I would say. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Keep going, keep pushing, do not give up. Talk to people, reach out to people.
Yeah.
There's different hotlines that you can call, different resources online. Just find someone. And if you can't find someone, just find God.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I had to ask you, how has this affected your love life?
It has, I would say it has affected me tremendously. Not all in a bad way.
Okay.
But I would definitely say I look at relationships differently now. And it's crazy because I feel like I have to find someone who is open-minded, especially going in with my condition, because of course I want to be open and honest with them, but I need someone who is also open-minded and able to accept the fact like, hey, this is what I do have going on,
right? But
this doesn't just define me. I am my own self outside of my condition. I'm still a person. I'm still a human. I still want that love that, everybody wants. And I just don't feel like, something like this should have to limit that or stop me from that. So I guess it has just made me become a little bit more pickier when it comes to, who I kind of let around me and how far we go. I don't look at things as it just being for just right now. I have to always look at the bigger picture of things.
Yes.
So like I say, all of it's not bad. It definitely has helped me with my choice and picking certain ones, because I know off rip, if you can't even accept this, we really can't even go any further, because this is just a small, minute problem that I'm more so dealing with, and it could be other problems down the line that could be bigger than this. And like I said, if you can't even weather something like this, how could we even go further? So yeah,
I totally understand that. Now, when you were going through this and you realized you had to pick wisely, what transpired when this was going on?
That moment that I said with God. So I started to really think like I don't deserve anything less than what I did before this, or what someone else doesn't have. So I'm okay with having the same thing, pretty much.
Got you.
So with that being said, I pick now knowing that. I pick now not feeling like I have to settle. I pick now with knowing that someone is able to and will see me just as I am. And I just have to be patient. And being patient is key to picking the right one, because we always settle because we want something right now. just to kind of fill that void, fill that space.
Right.
And it may not even last that long, or it may not even be giving you what you actually want or, look for in a relationship. So, like I said, it's a good thing that, like I said, I guess I developed. And just getting older and getting wiser, I don't want to go through the same ways and that I did before. So just picking wisely helps with that too.
Got you. Now, if you had the opportunity to help somebody going through this, would you do it? Like, would you try to not only coach them through it, but just kind of be there for them while they go through the process?
I definitely would, because I feel like somebody needs everybody. Everybody needs somebody. There we go.
Right.
And with that being said, I would love to be that person for an individual that maybe does not have that, or just to be able to connect with someone that has gone through this, and so have I. Because people can empathize with you all day long, but until they've actually been in your shoes and actually know, how that feels, or, what's going on, it hits different. So I would definitely love to be the voice for those people, coach them, mentor them. I kind of do want to start a page eventually on Facebook, just kind of like a just page where you can go and leave your thoughts and share how you're feeling, and just updates on how you're feeling daily. Mental, just checking on your mental is a big thing that you should just take a look into every day. Like, how are you feeling today?
Yeah.
Really, how are you feeling?
That'd be fire.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, whenever you do it, you can hit me up.
Yeah.
I will promote that boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just to help the people.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've gotten into a space to where I want to do that for people, and I wasn't always at that space.
Right.
So I understand how it is, and it takes some people longer than others, but if I can just help someone that can help someone else, we got a chain cycle going of people that can help. So.
Got you. That's dope. I would really love to participate whenever you get that started.
I would definitely keep you updated, because
Yeah.
that's what I do want to do in the year of 2024. So
Fire. I can see it happening. I can definitely see it happening.
You.
Now, you said you got to be patient, right? That's very strong, because you got to have it regardless. So the patience that you gonna have with somebody else, that's the patience that you're expecting for somebody else to have for you, like if you do get into another relationship, right?
Yes, patience and grace.
Okay.
That's something that I learned also. Just allowing others grace, allowing yourself grace. Not to be so hard on you, not to be so hard on them, not to put, any false expectations of them on just literally, just patience and grace. That's one thing that this has kind of taught me, is just having grace for others will take you so far.
Yes.
Because you never know what people are going through. Some you can see more physical than others. Some is more internal. So just have grace with people. Like God has grace with us.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. And let's be real. Everybody has something going on with them.
Yes.
It might not be physical, like you said. A lot of people got something going on upstairs.
Exactly. So some capacity,
Yeah.
we all have something going on. And that's why I said, I feel like everybody just deserves that grace.
Yeah.
That grace no matter what. So.
Yeah. So now this is this is like what you would call an autoimmune disease, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, has any other not any other, but like outside of the weather, what else affects it?
So I do know that there is certain foods that does affect it. So what really happens is inflammation kind of sets into my muscles, and that's what causes the mobility kind of issue when it comes to the range. It's the inflammation. So once your muscles are filled with inflammation, it feels 10 times heavier. It's like weight that's on it. So that's what affects the mobility of it. Just it feeling so heavy and weighted down till it's hard to move. So with the inflammation, I do know that certain foods can do it as well. Stress is a big factor. If you have too much stress on you, that can cause inflammation. Just overexerting yourself just in the gym or just walking and things like that can do it. Not taking your medicine on a regular and or daily basis, skipping doses, that can do it. Like I said, if I didn't take my IVIG, that'll do it. So multiple things can kind of cause inflammation.
Gotcha.
So it's really just, finding what works for you, what routine works for you, and then really sticking to it. My biggest thing is just do not miss your medicine. If you can help it, please do not miss out on taking those medications, because you will feel it drastically in your body. Like if you miss a day, you can feel it.
Okay, definitely. Now, do you set reminders for yourself to take, all your dosages and then your pills and everything like that?
So I just have to take my oral medicine once a day in the morning. So
Okay.
not really a clock that I have to set for that. But what I will do is I will use my calendar for me to keep cautious of my every month appointments that are infusion based, where my nurse does come to my home and things like that. So I do use my calendar for that, but it isn't like several that I kind of have to keep,
Okay, that's
a
cool.
time slot for. So thank God.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
My plan is to get off of all of this, so I just want to find different ways to be able to do that, because I know I can't stay on these medications forever.
Right.
It's just suppressing my immune system for the time being. So.
Got you. Shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, this is really dope to hear about.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Now, what's some of the food that you got to stay away from?
So red meats will cause inflammation. Cheese definitely cause inflammation as well. Processed foods, I know will cause inflammation. Different drinks, different beverages, like alcoholic drinks, some of those, it just depends. All of that can affect inflammation as well.
So Telly, I'm your homie. I'm not gonna call you out.
Mm-hmm.
But do you do everything in moderation?
Yes, everything does have to be done in moderation, and at the end of the day, I am human.
Oh yeah.
So
we all are.
Yeah, so I'm human. So of course, just things in moderation. Yeah, I don't really do it on like a frequent basis, but I will partake from time to time.
Okay. Okay.
And just shout out to the medication.
Yeah, shout out to the medication.
But no,
in moderation,
yeah.
For real.
But no, seriously though, I definitely do want to just create a better lifestyle for me. Just moving forward, I do want to do that. So.
Okay, good. Now, what's something outside of your medication?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does anything else make you feel better outside of medication? Outside of exercising?
It's just like things I like to do that makes me feel better, or just talking with my friends.
Okay.
Just kind of seeing people remind me of where I've came from. Because I guess just because I've been kind of so on the go, just, all of the time, sometimes when I sit back and think about it or hear others say it, I'd be like, wow, this was 3 years ago. Like, wow, this did happen to me. I did have to make these drastic changes. So just to hear people just commend me and say, you're doing a good job, you walking so much better. And it's people literally at establishments that I go to now, they remember me as being in a wheelchair. They're like, oh my God, you're not in a wheelchair no more. And that just goes to show me like, wow, you made an impact in whatever capacity you were in, whether that was wheelchair or walker. Like, you really stood out to people. And it was because no matter what I was going through, I never let that make me be a bitter person. I always, still had that love and caring for others, and I just never let what I was going through pretty much put a damper on me to where I just started being spiteful to other people. I just always remained true. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope because a lot of people couldn't have been, let alone in like at one point moving around dancing, and then end up in a wheelchair or in a walker and keep that same
in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and keep that same mindset.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah, I appreciate it because it was, like I said, it wasn't easy, but just knowing that these people ain't do nothing to me.
Yeah.
Why am I treating them like that? And especially the ones that are more so trying to help me. Why wouldn't I want to be nice to them and and just treat everybody with respect, but mostly the people that are just only looking out to just be the person to help me. So,
got you.
Yeah, I appreciate my team.
Yeah,
I appreciate
we got a
my
dope
family.
Team. We got a dope team, man, for real.
I just appreciate everybody who just stuck by my side and just pushed me, supported me, and encouraged me. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the things that you miss doing that you really don't do much of now?
Tennis. Tennis is
What? I never
know.
knew you played tennis.
Yeah, I played tennis for 4 years in high school.
That's fire.
I was predominantly singles, and then I played some doubles, but predominantly singles. I miss dancing. I used to dance all the time. Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just stay stationary when I go out places. I'm like, I can't afford nothing else to happen, so I just stay stationary. But when I see the Tamia hustle come on, I'm like, I used to be able to do that. Like now I can't. Yeah. When they go to crossing over the legs, my legs be like, no, one foot in front of the other, baby. So I can't do the crossing over and things no more. I have learned how to do the regular just ballroom 2-step. I can do that now again. So just really trying to just learn different things.
Learn different ways to enjoy yourself. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool though that you still like figuring out stuff. You working your way around things.
Yes.
Like that's really dope.
Still
like,
to this day.
And you know what? I commend you because a lot of people couldn't be in your shoes and still thriving like that. I can see. I know some people that ended up like handicapped and just was mad at the world.
Yes.
You know, so. That's dope.
Thank
like,
you. Because I didn't want the placard. I ain't going to even hold you. When my doctor was like, hey, you may have to get the handicap placard, I thought my world was over. I'm like, but this is not for young people. What am I doing with this? Now I be like, handicap parking is where I'm closer to the door. But it's just certain stuff like that. Like I just had to become used to this new, world, this new version that I never paid attention to before. Now I know that at every place they have to have a handicap, bigger stall.
Yeah.
I never paid attention to stuff like that before. I'm just like, okay, they got a bathroom, it works. Now I'm paying attention to even, at every building they have to have it handicap accessible. When I go to concerts, they have handicap seating. Just different things that I just never even paid attention to before. I'm like, oh, okay. I want to be in the handicap. Like over there. Yeah, so just getting used to it.
Yeah, you've learned it.
Yeah.
You learned to look at the bright side of it.
Definitely the bright side.
I ain't got to park far. I get to be a little more comfortable.
Exactly.
That's dope.
Exactly. Look, I'll take it, but.
Misha said you could still twerk, though.
Look, somebody help me up.
Jessica said, beautiful testimony.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Nikki said, have Chantel met anyone else have you met anyone else going through the same thing?
The exact same thing, no.
Okay.
But what I can say is that I've heard more people dealing with inflammation-based concerns that I ever had in my life. Like before I started dealing with the inflammation, I never heard of it before. Ever.
Okay.
Like now I'm hearing so many people say it, and I know it's different levels of it. Different medication is, for different types of inflammation, but I'm hearing it become more common. So I'm really wondering, where is it really coming from? I do want to do, further research, maybe get in contact with different doctors or just medical staff that does know people or that can help or can provide resources or classes. Like I do want to kind of get this out because this is something that we definitely need to make people aware of.
Yeah.
And if it's not them, it can be someone else that they can help. So
when you start your page, you might you definitely should open up with a video talking about that, and then and go from there. See who you can reach with it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that'll be real dope. I'm gonna get back to the comments. Misha also said that, and you're only getting better and stronger.
Thank you.
Medina sent you some hearts.
Hey, Medina.
Tia said you look so pretty.
Oh, thank you, Tia.
Ella Bates says so dope. Raising awareness not only helps those, but they don't know, but they also help, and it reminds them that you're not alone.
Yes, and I appreciate that so much. And that's the thing, feeling like you're not alone. I felt like that for a while. Because in that period of separation, I lost a lot of friends because they didn't understand, like, hey, I wasn't able to go out and do certain things. At one point, I wasn't able to drive. So, going out, turning up, being with your friends, I wasn't able to be in that atmosphere. So a lot of friends fell off by themselves. I didn't even have to do anything. That really just opened up my eyes to who was really in my circle. And now moving forward, that's why I only have a select few.
Yeah.
And I have not switched up on them, and they have not switched on me. Like, I mean, to the point where they are walking beside me while I'm walking with my walker in the mall, like looking at everybody like, okay, what's up, my friend on the walker, but that's just my friend.
Right, that's still the homie. Yeah.
So just really feeling like you know, not wanting to be alone in that situation. So I definitely want to be that one for others, like I said, because everybody does not have that support system. So,
man, so did you have, you know, friends fall off all the time. Did you have any family that like that fell back?
No, if anything, my family fell forward.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Because first, it kind of came on, like my condition came on really aggressive really quickly.
Right.
So it wasn't even like they seen me over a course of period, and you know how people, you know, gradually get sicker. It's like they seen me one time at a family function. I was up, I was doing everything. Next minute I was down and having to get helped up from a chair. So they was really like on a, you know, concern type of time. And then, like I said, just the moral support of them pushing me and, you know, anything you need, or, you know, them stepping in to help my mom, help me.
Yeah.
So like I said, they really stepped forward in a sense of just making sure they were there for me and anything that I needed. Especially my cousin Mika, just, and, you know, pushing me, just wanted me to do better. I just appreciate it so much. My mom, thank you so much to my mom that has been there literally from the first initial time of me hearing that I had to go to emergency room for this to literally every appointment thereafter. Like, she still attends every doctor appointment, and I just thank you so much to my mom.
That's powerful right there.
Yes,
because everybody don't have a mom that has their back, so that's really dope.
Yes.
That's really dope.
Mom is in my corner always, 10 tones down, and I appreciate her so much and love her so much.
And the fact that, you know, you're her only child, that like she's, that means she's there all the time.
Yes.
Like, that's really dope.
Yes. They know at work, they know her baby come first. They know that. So I just appreciate her so much. And I'm grateful and thankful to have a mom like that.
Yeah.
So.
That is great. Now, now, would you say, aside from your mom, who else has been your rock through this process?
Misha.
Shout
has been my rock.
Yeah.
She's been my rock not only physically, but spiritually. She is very spiritual, and she's helped me heighten my spirituality. She has just talked to me, prayed with me, cried with me. She was one of the ones where when I couldn't do certain things, she'd be like, okay, I'm coming to pick you up. I got you. I'm doing this. I'm going to get you there. So she was very much hands-on and involved. She wanted to see me thrive. She saw this moment of me being more independent before I did.
Hey, you know what? It's like that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
so
like that
I
sometimes.
definitely appreciate her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really dope. Now, since this been happening and you've been like this, you said it's been 3 years, right?
Yes.
How do you feel now, Telly?
I feel really good now to have overcome something that I know would have probably made most people fold.
Yes.
Yeah. By being young, too, that's just not something that a young person expects to have to deal with. Older people, you know, my neck, my back, my this, my that.
Yeah.
It's understandable. You're like, oh, okay, that's just old age.
Right.
But a person being young and having to deal with life-challenging things when you see your other friends just that you went to school with just doing everything normal and, you know, just still, and then going through that period of why me? Everybody kind of goes through that stage. But then I had to think about, like, why not me? And just really understanding that it wasn't for punishment that this happened to me, because what came on the other side of it is just so much greater. And I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for the progression. And it had to come in a traumatic way, but it shook me up and it made me pay attention. And sometimes that's really what we need. So
yeah, definitely. You know what I want you to do this year for yourself? Keep celebrating you.
Yes.
You come a long way.
Thank you.
You've definitely come a long way. And I watched. I didn't know you 3 years ago, but I watched you when you first came in here.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, I'm even different from then.
Yeah,
and thank you, because it really makes me feel good that people are actually able to see it. You know, so yeah, I appreciate it.
Definitely. Now, when you back to when you were in the wheelchair, or actually, you started off in the wheelchair, right?
Yes.
And then you ended up going towards the walker.
Towards the walker, yes.
Okay, when you were in the wheelchair, what was going through your mind?
How am I in here? Like, me knowing that I'm in here because I can't really walk.
Right.
Was just mentally challenging. Being in a wheelchair was just mentally challenging. Having to have someone push you around was mentally challenging. Finding how to grocery shop with being in a wheelchair was mentally challenging. Like, I would have to get pushed, and I would put my legs on the front part of the buggy, and then I would push the buggy. Like, just finding different ways to
be independent.
To be independent and to still do what I had to do. It was mentally challenging. I just wanted to do everything that I could to not have to stay in the wheelchair, because I'm like, it's just not me.
Right.
I wasn't in here a few months ago, you know?
Right.
So I have to make this change, and nobody could tell me how long that was going to take, which was probably the most devastating about the whole process, is not knowing when you were going to get back to being normal. But I just knew that I had to get out of that wheelchair. I had to get out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, by the time you made it to the walker, you were like, okay, I'm all right.
By the time I made it to the walker, I did have enough strength at least to be able to hold myself up.
Okay.
But I still was not able to walk further distances at that time. It was literally just, the walker was enough for me to be able to hold on to. It was like extra support. So, you know, I was still nervous of walking, still nervous of falling, because before at that time, my knees, my body was just so weak. I would fall. The slightest thing, if it was like, you know, any type of crack, any type of rock, anything, it could send me over the walker. So now I even find myself to this day, I'll be looking on the ground just to try to look at what's going on in front of me to make sure, hey, I'm stepping in the right place, or I'm going in the right place. And most people don't even notice what I'm doing, but I'm actually watching my steps, because I've just became so accustomed to the little things like that. Like, so.
Okay, that's what's up. Shout out to everybody that's watching, man. If you want to call in, please do. 313-266-2811 is the number. Do y'all hear this? Like, this is dope, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Like, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's good though. I'm glad you feeling better though, like throughout everything you've been going through. That's really dope. Thank you. Now let's circle back to you being in communication.
Okay.
How do you feel now that you've been actually getting in front of the camera a little more often?
I feel good. I feel like me being in communications and have been taking those classes and being around certain people and, you know, having certain opportunities, I feel like it's kind of developing me for being behind the camera. Because being behind the camera is not just being behind the camera. You have to have, you know, a good tone, like just, you know, being able to not feel like you are rushing through what you're trying to say. So it's just different etiquettes and things that you have to do before even being behind the camera that I think just being in communications has helped me kind of, you know, get more comfortable with doing. And then just being here, having to kind of be on camera on a podcast morning show, you know, sometimes, and not be expected to have to do that. It's just kind of, kind of just developing me to be more familiar with the camera, I'll say. Feel better in front of the camera. So
now, prior to all of this, would you say that you were kind of like reserved? Not shy, but reserved.
I would definitely say reserved, because at first this was something that I, for lack of better words, would hide from. I didn't want people to know this side of me, because I knew that when people would look at me, I wanted them to just see Shan. I didn't want them to see Shan that, you know, was dealing with this or going through that, or, you know, I didn't want that associated with my name. So I was definitely reserved, because I felt like, okay, the less I talked, the less that I was open, the less it would prompt people to be like, hey, okay, well, da-da-da-da-da. Or if they would see certain things, they'll be like, well, I wonder why she doing that, or I wonder why she has to pick her leg up to get in the car. It's like, I just felt like if I was just, you know, kind of reserved and away from people, I wouldn't have to share. So that was kind of my way of thinking. But now like I said, I am at the place to where I feel like sharing is what I need to be doing now. I'm in a different mind space. I actually want to share. I don't feel bad because of what I went through. I feel like it has prompted me and changed me to be the person I am today, a better person. To be more open-minded, to think differently, to not want to be reserved.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, since you've been in front of the camera, what's some advice that you would give to a newcomer?
It's gonna be all right. It is going to be all right. Literally, my first time behind the camera. Then this is the lovely part about behind the scenes. You guys don't see that part, but just the preparation of the behind the scenes, the nerves that have to get knocked off before the shows, you know, the camera switches that we have to do on commercial, just, you know, anything along those lines. So definitely just, it's going to be all right. Like, you are going to get through this. You are going to get better at it. Don't let you being shy you away from being behind the camera, because it will get easier. It'll get better. Being around dope people, it definitely makes a difference, and it definitely helps too.
Yeah, that's dope. Now, I understand, you know, you wanting to keep, like, your mystique, right?
Okay,
I do get that. So what's the balance between keeping your mystique but also letting people in a little bit on who you are?
I definitely like to keep that balance. It may be a little bit trickier to keep that balance, but I definitely feel like you do need that balance, because everything isn't for everybody to know, and that's just with anything, you know. So it's to the point to where it's like, I want people to know just me, but I don't want people to feel like I'm hiding anything, or they can't, you know, trust me or anything like that. Like, I just feel like there's a time and a place for everything, and you act accordingly in different settings and things like that. So that would be the mystique side of it, like, just not, you know, just showing everything in every type of atmosphere or environment. You know, but still opening up so that people can come to you and feel like you are someone that they can, you know, talk to, communicate with, empathize with, and you know, connect to. So,
got you. Now, since you've been in this field, right? Mm-hmm. You've met a lot of people. So, would you actually date somebody that was in your field, whether it's behind the scenes or on the camera?
In my field, I don't know. I don't know about in my field. Maybe not. Because after, I guess, I've done, you know, the things for maybe the week or the day that's in my field, it might be good to just mentally dive into another world, another space. And that may be where my partner is at, and they may be doing something completely different. And I can learn from there, learn what they doing. So it doesn't have to just be all of the time I'm mentally in producer mode or communication mode, broadcasting mode. I'm able to maybe, you know, shift over to maybe an engineer type of thing, or, you know, construction, or anything along those lines, like whatever they do. So
that's cool. Now, would you say that, so you agree that you don't have to be with a creative, doesn't have to be with another creator, right? Or creative?
You don't have to.
But you do understand it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand why creatives do get together. Yeah, but I don't feel like you have to.
Right.
Two creators have to be together, because that could be the balance. One could be a creator, one could not be, you know, and you create that balance.
I feel like if anybody was to date another creative and they were one as well, it'd become too much.
Yeah, that's why I say you have to have that balance.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you don't have to have another creative for your relationship to be successful.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't believe so. How is it having friends and making friends with being a creative behind and in front of the camera?
Making friends is cool, because when you vibe with other creators, you find a lot of similarities. And then with that, you share similar passions, and then from there you create you create greatness, you create things. So just being in rooms and spaces and opportunities with other people who share similarities, now that's dope.
Yeah.
Now that's dope. And it's on a friend level too. So you able to kind of do what you're going to do, create what you can create, but you are able to then have your space to walk away from that, come back, you know, and then start to create again.
Yeah.
Versus with like a relationship, depending on the, you know, the level of the relationship you guys have, you may more so be around each other a lot more. So just to have that balance, to be able to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah. I like the fact that you could turn it on and turn it off, because sometimes I've been on like when I first started, and I was like, okay, I gotta chill, because everything can't be content.
Exactly.
You know?
And too much of anything is not good.
Right.
And that's anything. So you can have too much water. So
yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like literally too much
true.
of anything is not good. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. How are you when it comes down to bouncing ideas off of somebody else and vice versa?
I'm really good with bouncing off ideas, only because I feel like I'm open-minded. I'm definitely open to hear another person's point of view. We definitely may go back and forth as in like, oh, my point, your point, my point. But if I see you got a good point, I'm going to eventually give up. And I'll be like, okay, you got a good point. But just being able to just bounce ideas off of each other is cool, because you may not even be thinking nowhere along those lines, but it may actually be a good idea. And there's more than one way to do anything. So with that being said, it's going to be more than one idea. And we don't have all the ideas or answers. So creating, you know, and being with those people that are like-minded and have those similarities, it'll definitely help.
Now, what if you come across somebody that gives you some advice, but you too headstrong on what your morals are and what lane you in and all of that? How do you handle that?
I just ask for that grace. Just give me time. Because when you are molded into thinking in one particular way, it's not going to change overnight. Just like it didn't happen overnight for you to just be so, you know, hell-bent on that. Like, it didn't happen overnight. So with that time, just give me time. Give me time to actually think about what you said, take in what you said, and actually be like, okay, I can see it at least from that perspective. No, I may not agree. Like, or you may not change my mind, but at least I'm able to at least see it from your perspective. I understand why maybe you think that way, said that way, or did that. So, yeah. So, just give me time.
So, do you think being in communications like helped you be more open-minded, or were you a little more open-minded prior to?
Communications, I don't think that really helped me be open-minded, but what it did do was allow me to be able to speak in a certain way, reach people in a particular way, you know, use my words, have a way with words, and I feel like just being in my different classes and the opportunities and the work that we had to do kind of helped me with that. So I do think that part helped me with the communications. Moving forward, I feel like just, you know, being in a room here and with the people here at Podcastic, that is what kind of made me be able to open up and know when I can kind of be like, okay, I can open my mind to this. I can see beyond what I was seeing before. Because like you said earlier, with me being the youngest Podcastic member, I'm only seeing things from a certain standpoint, where as other people have really went through things, experienced things, I may be like, okay, maybe life ain't black and white. It's a little gray right here. It's a little yellow right here. Like, it's different areas that I have not came across yet. And you guys kind of opened me up and let me know, like, hey, it's other ways to thinking and living than just one. So
yeah, I'm glad that you were open to listen to, you know, everybody on the team. As you can see, we not always right.
But who is though, you know? So I appreciate y'all. Thanks, team.
Yeah, definitely. What schools did you go to?
Are we starting back to elementary, or are we just referring to college?
For college, for broadcasting.
Oh, Macomb Community College was first. I wanted to go to Specs Howard, but I didn't like the fact that you only got a certification and not a degree. I feel like it was too much money put into that to not get that.
Gotcha.
And then that's when I decided to go to Oakland Community College, and I did their communications program there, and I graduated there in 2020.
Fire.
Yeah, with my bachelor's in communication and then the minor in social. sociology. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's definitely been a pleasure having you, Telly.
I appreciate
like, for real.
it.
I'm glad that you came on. I'm glad you were able to.
Yeah, the time flew by.
Yeah. It normally does, especially when we having a good convo.
Yeah.
But I definitely appreciate everybody that's been watching, man. And like I told y'all before, season 3 is not about me. Okay, you want to know more about me, know about my past? Go watch season 1 and season 2 on YouTube. This is about the people that have a voice, that raise awareness, that got something else to say, like out of the norm. So go watch the old stuff. This new season is something totally different, man. It's definitely for the people, and I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you again, Telly.
Thank you
so
much for having me.
Thank you, Nicole, on the ones and twos.
Yes,
We definitely appreciate you for coming through.
I like that one.
Yeah, definitely. But we about to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all, and I will catch y'all not next Saturday, but the Saturday after next. We out of here. Indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talks with Todd.